But in the former way of fraud, not only the love that nature forges is forgotten, but added love that builds a special trust. Thus, the tightest circle, where there is the universe's center, seat of Dis, all traitors are consumed eternally. Canto 11 provides a break in the book. This allows the reader to discuss with the characters what's been going on in the story and what will happen in the next few circles of hell. This is a sort of rest from all of the action and movement that's been going on in the story. Pragmatic means of or pertaining to a practical point or view. This canto discusses the structures of hell. In the lower circles of hell, there are 4 sins. Violence, which can be to oneself, to others, or to God.
Grrr.
Incontinence, meaning lack of self-control, bestiality, and fraud. Fraud is considered the worst sin because it was thought that the worst thing one could do was to abuse the gifts that God has given. They're walking down a slope that was formed by the land shaking. This reminds Dante of a landslide that happened in Florence during his time on Earth. He asks Virgil, "Did the Earth feel love?" This question is based off of an ancient myth that states if the Earth feels more love than hate or more hate than love, then the Earth will spin itself into chaos. Virgil then explains to Dante that Christ's death on Earth was actually what shook hell. As Dante and Virgil finish this conversation, they see tombs and a circle of rubble, so they decide to pause to let their senses adjust to the bad stench. Virgil says that the people burning in the tombs are arch heretics. This is a flexible punishment, where some of the tombs are open and some are closed. The tomb they rest on, a closed tomb, holds Pope Anastasius I. The writer Dante Alighieri only thought that Pope Anastasius I was a bad man because of the rumors that had been circling, when in fact, the Pope was not nearly as horrible as Dante had described him. After their conversation, the two explorers come across a minotaur, half man, half bull. Instead of fighting to get past, Virgil uses his wit to torment the monster. While the minotaur is angrily biting itself, the two tiptoe past. This is a specific lesson that Dante was trying to get across to his reader. Anger is self-destructive. The Minotaur, a bull man who appears on this broken slope, is most likely a guardian and symbol of the entire circle of violence. Canto 12, the 7th circle, discusses specifically violence against others and anger. Virgil and Dante then meet up with the Centaurs, who are half man, half horse. They are the police of the area, and they punish people in the river who try to escape by shooting them with an arrow. The next stop was Phlegethon, also known as the River of Boiling Blood. This is another flexible punishment for those who have harmed others. The river is filled with blood of the victims that the killer must stand in for eternity. If the killer tries to escape or move, then it is shot by an arrow. The river holds mostly tyrants and murderers, and this is where the saying, "My blood is boiling," came from. This is another allude to anger by Dante. There's an old myth that states if you kill a man, the blood that is shed will be absorbed by earth and will drip into hell. There, it will collect in the river of boiling blood where you will go when you die to pay for your sins. The river of boiling blood is a flexible punishment. This means that it is different according to the sinner's degrees of sin. Dante and Virgil discuss important people in the river, 3 of them being Alexander the Great, who killed over 1 million, Attila the Hun for his invasion of Florence, and Pyrrhus, son of Achilles. He is described as a hurricane and an unstoppable warrior, for he murdered everyone in his way. This ethical reflection suggests the fundamental key for interpreting the whole canto. Obtuse greed for worldly good, blind cupidity, prompts people to mad violence, to insane anger, which receives this punishment after death. This quote relates back to the original theme of anger in Dante's Inferno. The idea of greed being the main source of what leads to violence is what Dante Alighieri was trying to warn his reader about. He's basically saying that if you're greedy, you're going to hell. The key points in Canto 12. The entire circle of lower hell is comprised of beast-like people, which are half man and half animal. The theme is that anger is self-destructive and counterproductive, and one should use wits and human reason instead. This is shown in the scene with the Minotaur. The third key point is that people do not use blessed names in hell. They must work their way around it.